Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Freya says hi too. Ooh. And I'm back at it with another video again. I'm really excited for this one. Hey, Mimi. As ooh. As you can see, it's a new PC build, and it's gonna be an all-white all AMD actually build, which is crazy to me. How times have changed. I feel like I always say that, but I used to be all NVIDIA, Intel, and look at me now. So I essentially have been hunting a GPU for a while now. My GPU I'm rocking right now is a 2080 Ti, which I know is not bad, but I just made the switch to 1440p, and I like high refresh rate. So if I really want to achieve that, I really had to upgrade. I also had an 11900K, so really not a bad build all around. A pretty good build, especially for like content creation and like editing and things like that. Fred's playing with some with some balls in the background, but uh, yeah. So I ended up getting all AMD GPU and CPU, so kind of surprising. Uh, and yeah, the reason behind it is because I actually got a GPU in today's market, which is very surprising, right? I actually secured the 9070 XT, and I was surprised I got it. I mean, I'll show a clip of me trying to buy it right here.
What?
The morning was, oh man, that morning was just crazy. Hi baby, what's up? You want to play right now, don't you? Yes, I know. Oh, don't show that. Don't show that on camera. Oh my god. But yeah, it was an insane morning. Trying to secure those GPUs. Thank God for XFX, like stocking these things late on Newegg. I don't even know why or why. I don't know why that happened. I don't know why I just said why like 8 times, but I did. Okay, so that's the way she goes around, and Freya's just knocking more stuff over. That's her job. I pay her to do that. So good stuff, Freya. Good stuff. Keep up the great work. Promotion soon. Brr. Yes. But yeah, I mean, the build probably cost around like $2,300 all around. I kind of went all out for this. And so for the CPU, we're going to be rocking the Ryzen 9800X 3D. Very happy I got this. I got a deal. Thank you, Freya. Keep on going. I got a deal from a place called Central Computers. It's around the Bay Area. Shout out to them. I don't know if they're like a small mini micro center that we have around the Bay Area, because all we have is a Tuscan store, which is like down south. Oi, let's chill. But yeah, that's pretty far down south. I don't know exactly how far, but yeah, I'm not gonna drive all the way down there. It's kind of ridiculous. It's like doing a vacation just for some PC parts. But Central Computers, excuse me, is honestly like a lifesaver, because they had the drop of the 9070 XT. They had decent stock. They had an ASRock one. They had two ASRock ones, actually. They had the Taichi, which was a little bit more expensive, the OC one, and then they just had that white one that I forget the name of it. It's a Steel Legend, I think. It's the same. It looks exactly like the B580 that I put in my brother's computer in the initial Intel build that you saw me do, which was quite interesting. I couldn't believe that. I was like, holy moly, it looks the exact same. Like, come on, y'all. Switch it up at least a little bit if you're going for a 9070 XT. Like this card's kind of a hoss, you know. But 9800 X3D, I got a $10 off with this combo, so it was like $460, I think, or something, for me. Oh my god, this cat is just destroying everything, which is great. And then also got, for the cooler, I did a Thermalright Grand Vision 360. I just looked this up super fast. I needed an AIO quick, like, that would ship in time. Then I wanted it to be decent, but not breaking the bank. And Thermalright, came in clutch here. Has an LCD screen on it, all white, super clean, and its thermals are actually surprisingly good. So I mean, that's what I think it was Tom's Hardware or something rated it like the best price to performance. So I'm happy I got that. And then for the motherboard, I got this Aorus B850 Elite Wi-Fi 7 Ice. And the main reason I went for that is because it had all the features that I wanted, PCI 5.0. And the main reason why I got it, I should say, is because the RAM slots are white as well. A lot of white motherboards, the RAM slots are actually still black, and there's that kind of like black to white ratio. And I wanted this to just be a pure white PC, so I went with that one. It's pure white. There is some like chips on chips and stuff on there that are black, but I mean it's all good. We work around it. Excuse me. And then for the RAM, I went with Clev Crass CL30 at 6,000 megatransfers. I think that's what it's called. And with the 9800 X3D, after doing some research, you actually want 6,000 megatransfers, no higher, no smaller, because it actually it matches like a clock speed and a memory speed. It matches two speeds together at the same timing, and it actually will run a bit more stable. I don't know if it gives you more FPS or runs any faster, but I know it's supposed to be more stable, supposedly. I'm not sure about this. I don't know the science behind it or the actual numbers, but it is something I heard when I was watching YouTube videos, right? So I went with that. The SSD I have for the boot drive is a WD Black. I don't know the actual model name off the top of my head. It'll be on screen, but that is my boot drive. Google AI told me it was the best boot drive for an NVMe, so that's why I went with it. And then for the GPU, of course, we got this Mercury White 9070 XT from XFX. And yes, I know I overpaid for it. I know I paid like $200 more than I actually should have for this 9070 XT, but I'm completely fine with it. Honestly, since it's my personal rig, I'm putting aesthetics kind of at the front of my priority list. So, and this was easily the best 9070 XT that I saw in the white variant, at least. All the rest of them, even the Sapphire model, looked a little bit like military, gamer-esque. And this one looks like a Lamborghini with its angles and its curves on it. So I'm really, really happy with the looks of the card, and I'm honestly happy I spent the extra money on it, because I think it looks beautiful and I think it's worth the extra money. And it also has that third 8-pin on it, so you can draw 340 watts, which is a little bit more than the default spec. And for the power supply, I actually found a deal at Central Computers while I was getting my CPU and motherboard. It's the Lee & Edge. It's a 1200 watt gold rated, and I figured honestly the 1200 watt was 15 bucks more than the 1000 watt, and they were both gold rated, so I figured why not? I just gotta spend the extra $15 and get the 1200 watt. It leaves me room for a lot of upgradability in the future, because who knows, 5-10, we got 5090s pulling 600 watts now. Who knows, 5-6 years down the line, it's gonna be like 1000 watt draws from cards. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, I'm telling you guys, it will be crazy. And then for the case, we're putting this all in a CTE 550 by Thermaltake. I don't know why I always end up buying Thermaltake cases. I think all of my excuse me. I think all my cases that I've had have actually been Thermaltake, with the exception of one. I had that NZXT, I think it's the H. It was the H440 or something. I forget what it is. Oh my Freya! Watch out. But the H440, it was a red and black one. I think I swear to God, everyone had one at the time. And I just had one because I thought it looked cool. And I put LED light strips in it, the classics, just to brighten up the case. But yeah, I'm going to put timestamps in the video for everything. I'm going to have the ASMR unboxing. I'm going to have the actual build. And then I'm going to have the show off. I'm actually going to do benchmarking and an overview at the end, because last time I said I was going to do that for the Intel build, but I didn't end up doing it at all. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys enjoy it. hop to the timestamps if you guys want to see some specifics. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Oh my lord, everyone. It is finally over. I mean, look, she is beautiful, all finished up. I am super, super excited. I hope you enjoyed the build and the showcase video. It honestly, it took an arm and a leg to do that thing. Like, building a PC while also trying to get good shots of it at the same time is really hard to do when you're not in a studio and you're confined to like essentially one angle, like maybe two or three other angles. But we made it work. Hopefully, I know there's some not very good shots in there, but there's more good shots than bad shots. So I'm happy with that. Working with this case, this CTE 550, it was actually really nice. It was my first time ever using like a case with like pop-off panels. Every time I've used a case, they've had like those screws or whatever, those big thick screws that usually mess up your fingers if you do it a lot. So working with a case where the panels just pop off, every single one, super nice, really convenient, as well as my first time using, I think it's called a dual chamber case or something, the one where the PSU was like tucked in the back, but using it with the Lian Li Edge, because that one's actually meant for these dual chamber cases, so nice. It like just so easy to set everything up, plug everything in, not like didn't have to fiddle around with any like ridiculous angles or anything in there. Like everything was just laid out perfectly flat. Essentially, it made everything so simple and super easy. So yeah, very, very happy with that. And the case, it's really big. There's a lot of room to work with, a lot of places to store your wires and things like that. So I didn't have any issues with the case at all with spacing or anything. I was a little bit worried because as you can see the way it's laid out, all the I/O is coming out the top panel here, which is a little bit different because you see how the motherboard's just angled like that. So the I/O, you can actually, I mean, maybe I'll get a close-up shot of it, but you can actually see the I/O from where I'm sitting at least, and there's only one single hole for all the I/O, including all your DisplayPort and HDMI cables going into your graphics card. So I thought I wasn't gonna have enough room, but there's actually like a lot of room left in that little like hole that they've left for it, the little port. So I might show a clip of that as well for you guys, just so you can kind of understand what I'm talking about. But the case is just laid out really, really well. And I mean, for kind of like the style of it, I mean, I feel like 150 is a pretty fair price. It feels like good quality on pretty much everything. I didn't have an issue with it. And the thermals are actually really good. I was a little bit worried because obviously it's a the glass panel. There's no like mesh on the front or the back or the side. It's all just glass. But the thermals are actually really good. I mean, my GPU usually sits here idle, like, and it'll kind of ramp up temperatures because it doesn't have its fans on idle, so it'll usually ramp up the temperature and then turn on the fans and cool it down for a little bit. So it usually floats around like low 40s. It usually like will sometimes get into the 60s, like low 60s when I'm putting it under load. It never breaks like the mid 60s really, which I'm very happy about. So nice thermals with it. Even if like there's 3 glass panels, I have what is that, 3 reverse fans on the bottom for intake, and then the reverse fans on the side right here for more intake, and then these 2 up here are exhausting out the top. So I mean, it's working, and the thermals are good. I haven't had any issues with it yet, so I'm very, very happy with that. I have been keeping it clean. Like, I'm going to consistently clean it, like, hopefully once a month. That's the goal, right? But no one ever really does that, but hopefully I will keep up with that. But also the noise, like the noise on this fan, or not on the fans, but the noise on the PC just in general are amazing. Like comparing it to my old PC, that thing sounded like a jet engine. That 2080 Ti, when I launched a game, whoosh, like it was like a I don't know, like a jet plane is starting up, right? But this, even under like heavy loads, like the craziest games I can throw at it, it is silent, like super, super quiet. I don't know if you guys can hear it right now, but put the mic up to it so you guys can maybe hear it a little bit. But it is so quiet, and I did not think it would make that big of a difference while gaming, but like having that extra like immersion of just not hearing your PC in the background, especially for single player games, it makes a difference. I was surprised. Um, and obviously, there's some changes that I made to the PC that you guys didn't get to see on camera, like these RGB like cables for the GPU and the motherboard, as well as a vertical GPU mount. Those were just some extra things I added on once I got them in. I had to wait for some stuff from AliExpress, just because they're the plug. I've been thinking about making a video on these like RGB cable things because they're super cheap. Like all three of them that I have in there, like costs less than half of like a Lian Li strimmer. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, let me know if you want me to make a video on those. I think that could be a pretty decent one. And for the rest of the video, we're gonna get into some benchmarks with the 97XT combo with this 9800X3D, because it is pretty crazy. I was surprised at the frame rates, especially if you do some crazy things like mixing like frame gen with fluid motion frames or whatever. And then we also have lossless scaling to mess around with too. So there's like a lot of things. But this is a crazy powerful PC. It was more powerful than I was expecting it to be quite honest, which usually I feel like that's the opposite of what happens. You usually expect your PC to be a little bit more powerful than it really is, but I was pleasantly surprised with this one. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, getting into the benchmarks here. Starting off, we're going to have Black Myth Wukong. And on the left is going to be all the AI stuff like FSR, frame generation, and fluid motion frames. And then moving to the right, it's going to have native 1440p with ray tracing either on or off. And as you can see, with cinematic settings, we're not hitting that 60 FPS in Wukong. Probably I'd turn the settings down to like high or something to achieve that nice baseline 1% lows with a good smooth FPS. But you can see with the AI, I mean, it's going almost over 200 FPS. Bless you, Freya. I don't know if you guys heard that, but Freya sneezed. And I mean, I wouldn't suggest using frame generation and fluid motion frames. I would turn off just fluid motion frames and just use the in-game frame generation, because you really notice the input lag. You can read it on the AMD overlay that there's 5 milliseconds of frame gen lag, but that is only accounting for fluid motion frames, so you have to add on the in-game frame generation input lag as well. So you definitely notice it even with a controller when you're doubling up on that in this game, since it's so fast-paced and there's so much going on. And especially since there's so much happening in scenes, you'll notice a lot of those ghosting and artifacting. It's pretty noticeable. It's hard to block out, right? But it's still running great, and you can see with FSR4 in this, it's a mod. It's using OptiScaler for an injection. I do have one true FSR4 with AMD's like override method, and that's going to be coming up next. But the rest of them are going to be using the OptiScaler mod, which works really, really well. FSR4 is a huge improvement from FSR3. And I'm really happy to be able to use it, and especially like if you use it on performance mode, the FPS is great and it looks great too. Like I'd highly suggest it if you have a high refresh rate monitor, which I'm trying to achieve because I have 240 Hz, so I'm definitely trying to achieve that wherever I can. But you can see Black Myth Wukong, it's running pretty great here. I didn't even enable ray tracing though, just because I knew the performance wouldn't be good, and that goes the same with path tracing on Cyberpunk. I didn't even try because it's just not going to be a playable experience. And going on to the next game here, this is going to be Monster Hunter Wilds. This is with frame gen and fluid motion frames, it actually works pretty great in this game. I'm not gonna lie. With a 240 Hz monitor, it looks great and runs great too. I kind of suggest it. You will notice some kind of hitching here or there. If you want to get rid of that, turn down the settings for max, but definitely great. You can see without frame gen or anything like that, just a native 1440p. It is getting a 60 FPS, and ray tracing doesn't even seem to affect like performance in this game. I don't know if it's because the 9070 XT's ray tracing performance is that good, but I mean, you'll see it in other games. It definitely tanks in other games, but for some reason, Monster Hunter Wilds, the ray tracing performance doesn't seem to make a huge difference at all. I just prefer to play with it off just to try and boost FPS as much as possible, and in this game I don't really notice it, so Do with that what you will. Next here we have Silent Hill 2 Remake, another Unreal Engine 5 game, super hard to run. And you can see on the left here, I actually have ray tracing on, and I'm still getting over 240 FPS with all the AI stuff. And since this is such a slow game, I mean, with at least in the environments, there's not a lot of stuff moving unless it's like foliage or like I guess like leaves or something flying through the air, right? It's not like big particle effects or anything like that. So FrameGen plus fluid motion frames works pretty well here. If you try to block out that input lag and kind of get used to it, it works really well and it looks great too. I mean, you can see just native getting 60 FPS there, and then with ray tracing on, it tanks it by like about 11 frames on average, I'd say. But this game is looking great, and especially if you turn on like FSR and all that good stuff, it runs great too. And next up, it's going to be Cyberpunk. You can see on the left getting over 240 again, but I would not suggest using fluid motion frames on any FPS. You're going to see ghosting and artifacting on like UI elements like the crosshair and things like that, and the input lag is more than noticeable. So I would just rock with FrameGen on this game. But FrameGen works great because you can see that the native 1440p is running at over 120 FPS on average. Like you can see getting up to 150 there. And then the ray tracing on the right is going to be ray tracing ultra. So that tanks it by about half. I mean, you can see it's essentially half the FPS, sometimes even a third of what we're getting on native. So I wouldn't suggest using ray tracing on this card in this game. It is tough to run. Maybe if you tweak some ray tracing settings, you can get it to work pretty well, but I found it pretty hard to work with. But I would just use in-game frame generation, maybe crank the settings down to high, and you're going to be easily getting a 240 Hz on this game, and it's going to be looking great as well. And next up, we got Hogwarts Legacy. So I honestly haven't played too much of this game, and it actually doesn't have in-game frame generation, so I'm only using fluid motion frames there on the left, but we're still achieving above 200 FPS with that because we have a baseline of about 100 on native. And in this Hogsmeade area, I was getting a lot of like stutters. The 1% lows really aren't too great, even with this 9800X 3D. So, I mean, I would probably turn down the settings a little bit if you want to get a more like smooth experience in every single area, because I'm pretty sure going around other places it was pretty smooth, but just in this Hogsmeade area, I don't know what it is, but it was kind of just stuttering all over the place. But turn on a couple of those settings, use FSR 4, you can maybe put to performance, and then, I mean, this is going to be running great. And I do have some graphs here. This is going to be Black Myth Wukong. For this, I guess I wanted to give like a visual representation of how like AI and FrameGen can help your gameplay experience. As you can see here, if there's no difference between your 1% lows on your AI versus a native, I probably wouldn't suggest using it. But if you see a huge increase like this on Monster Hunter Wilds, it typically is worth using, and that's all down to the baseline frame rates, right? That's all down to what you're starting at. So as long as you make sure you're getting good baseline frame rates, I would definitely suggest using frame generation as long as you can block out that artifacting. So I'm going to leave y'all off with the ASMR unboxing for the rest of the video. And please wait till the end. I have a message for everyone watching. And unfortunately, I don't have audio for the GPU unboxing. I tried to find it everywhere, and I just don't know where it was. So I'm going to have a message for y'all there, and enjoy. So I just want to thank everyone so much for watching. I know it was a long video, but I hope you enjoyed. A lot of work went into this video, and this is my 100 subscriber special, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for hitting that 100 subscriber mark, even after so long. Hopefully I actually start uploading more consistently, especially since I'm starting to find like a niche with my content. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys subscribing. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed, and please comment to boost the engagement. Try and boost that algorithm. And yeah, I really appreciate you guys. The music that I used in this video was all from video games, from Silent Hill 2, from Resident Evil 1, from Fury. So check those games out. And also, I want to give a shout out to Optimum Tech, and I don't think Tech's in his name, but just Optimum. And as well as The Relaxing End for giving me inspiration kind of for my content, really. And hopefully it only gets better from here. And again, I want to apologize for how long this video took to come out. Again, a lot of work was put into it. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Again, I apologize for there being no audio on the rest of this GPU unboxing. It's a little bit scuffed, but it's the way she goes. And yeah, if you guys made it this far, again, thank you so much for watching the whole video. Like 40 minutes is definitely, I think, one of the longest videos I've ever done, especially with this amount of editing. So I hope it turns out well. And again, I'll catch you guys in the next video, and until next time.